Odds Monkey. Beat the bookie and make money whether you win, lose or draw. Swing by oddsmonkey.com today to try the UK's #1 matched betting service for just £1. Enter promo code Gooner when you register and upgrade to premium.
Hello and welcome to a Gooner Ramble. I'm your host James. Hope you're all well, and joining us today we've got regular Amanda. Amanda, how you doing?
Evening, James. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. Not too bad.
We won last night. We won.
I know, it's unbelievable.
It's
Away
weird.
as well.
I don't know how to feel.
Away game. We've also got regular Was. How you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. I'm happy. I'm a little bit happier tonight. As you say, we won and we've been put out of our away misery finally. Finally, we had to travel a long bloody way for it, but it's finally happened, mate.
Yeah, on Bank Holiday Monday as well. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Perfect. Love Sky TV for all this stuff.
Well, going into the game, obviously, I didn't go. I had it on my television. And straight away, you see the lineup and you go, wait a minute, 3-4-3? This hasn't been done since 1997 against Derby County, where it was Keown Adams and Steve Bold in that system. Most of you who are Arsenal fans now know that we don't have players of the calibre of Keown Adams and Bold anymore. So it was Petr returning in goal, obviously, and then it was Koscielny, Gabriel and Holding playing as the three centre-halves. The reason that was given was that we had 70% of the possession against Crystal Palace and we still lost the game, and it was to combat the aerial threat that Middlesbrough were going to possess. Warren, you were there, mate. What was the general consensus of everybody seeing that 3-4-3, or did some people think is it 3-5-2, or did some think, oh, it's just the usual and he's going to play Gabriel at right back and this, that and the other?
No, yeah, I think immediately everyone knew it was three at the back, but I mean, I'm not so convinced that it's a tactical masterstroke, and I think it was more of a panic stations, and he's just trying just to do anything he can to get a result. And I think the way I saw it was more of a 3-4-2-1. So the way I saw it was you're going to have Ozil and Alexis lining up behind Olivier Giroud, who was almost the beautiful angel on top of that Christmas tree. And you had the wing backs, the three centre backs, and you had Xhaka and Ramsey as the two in the middle of the park. But to be honest with you, going to play a team like Middlesbrough, I had the joy of speaking to a lot of their fans pre-game and post-game for what I could understand of what they were talking to me. Lovely people, but yeah, they were just, they thought we were going to absolutely steamroller, and I said, look, we're Arsenal and we're not going to be steamrolling you tonight at the moment, and we'll be delighted to come away with a result here tonight, because it's been really tough of late, and they honestly didn't believe me. And until I started relaying to them that we had got banged 3-0 by Palace, that we had got smashed at West Brom, and they were sort of like, oh, yeah, maybe. And they were like, but we don't even have shots. They were like, we don't even have shots, so you should be fine. But, yeah, I mean, the formation change this late into a season, we must have played nearly 50 games this season, and we've gone three at the back for the first time, like you say, since 1997, which is incredible. Yes. So, yeah, I mean, it was more... I think the general consensus in and around the away end and in the pubs and that were just sort of, look, we just need to stop this drought. We need to win. Like, it don't matter how we do it. And it was interesting to see him change things up, and we see how it worked. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a planned masterstroke of tactical change that we've been looking towards for a long time. I think it was just a bit of off the cuff, and he's coming out trying to reinvent himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you feel that it was, my general consensus, and I felt harsh saying it, but it just felt like the last, desperate push for for an old man type thing, the old dog can learn new tricks.
Yeah, it's almost as if And it's the way he come out after the game, didn't he, and said, "See, who said I can't change tactical?" I mean, come on, Arsene, like, come on, mate. I mean, we've all seen how poor we've been, and in numerous formations, because he's played 4-4-1-1 at times. He ain't stuck to 4-2-3-1 like he normally does all the time, and he's tried something new, and he's against one of the worst teams I've ever seen us play, and I can 100% confirm that we will not be going back there next season, because they really are quite a poor side, and it was almost like a last chance saloon to try and put himself out there, but I weren't convinced, mate.
No. Amanda, what was your? You talk a lot about the defence. You normally reply with "what defence," but what did you feel about all of this?
I actually felt excited. I thought, oh, we might be doing something a little bit different here. I think it threw everybody, because I don't think anyone expected it. And when the team came out, my dad messaged me and said, "Has anyone replaced Wenger tonight?" Because it's just not him, is it, to do something like this? I'm not positive at the moment. I don't go into any match positive anymore. So everyone was saying we're going to spank Middlesbrough because they're one of the worst teams in the league. But we all know, not one Arsenal fan felt like that. Some felt we were going to win. They
conceded less goals than us, so I didn't know why people thought we were going to spank them.
Yeah, and up there on a night where we've got no confidence whatsoever, I actually could write the script, and my script was wrong, because I just thought it'd be a draw, to be honest. I quite liked it, to be honest. I'm hoping he doesn't play that Sunday, because we will get spanked. But let's talk about that in a minute. I liked it, and I know Warren and I are going to have a conversation about the Ox soon, but I think it suited a couple of the players. I think it didn't suit a couple of other players, but I was pretty more excited than I have been. I think that's what I want to say.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go into specific players a bit later on, but the first half really, we keep having this when we get together, don't we? There's not much to talk about. I mean, there was a shout for Giroud to get a penalty. The guy's absolutely all over him like bloody eczema, throwing him about, and no penalty given, typical. And then there's a few chances here and there for both sides, and you got to that stage where you thought it was one of them nights, and then we get a free kick right on the stroke of half time. And, I'm going to get slated for what I've probably got to say about Sanchez later, but he stepped up and he banged one top bins, didn't he, Amanda?
Yeah, beautiful goal. But, and I love Sanchez, what was the goalkeeper doing? I'm a bit confused where he was standing. Sanchez had 3/4 of the goal to shoot in, if you understand what I mean. So I loved it. Listen, I know what you're going to say about Sanchez. He gives the ball away 453 times. I get it, okay? He has two sides to his game at the moment, doesn't he? The fighting side and the side where he gives the ball away. But it was a lovely free kick. You can't take that away from him.
No. Well, now you've mentioned it, we might as well jump on it now. I think, I'm sorry if this is going to get me trolled in all the comments, if any other player in that team did that, they would be crucified. But just because he's Alexis Sanchez, I'm sorry, I think no one's immune to criticism where I'm from. And
I do feel, James, though, that people are criticising him. They are.
Yeah.
I don't think you're the only one saying this.
No.
But I think every player's being criticised now. I don't think anyone's getting away with anything, to be honest.
It was the stuff he was doing in the box, Amanda. I'm like, why are you trying to do back heels and everything? I mean, Gabriel was the same as well in the first half, I remember. Trying to pass, do tippy-tappy type of passes out the box. I'm like, bloody hell, you're having a heart attack. And I'm like dribbling it out of the box as well. I'm like, just clear your bloody lines. You got Giroud up there, pump it long, see what happens.
Yeah, they didn't use Giroud properly last night, did they? There's a shock.
I thought he had a stinker anyway, to be honest, but that's just me. But mate, you were there.
Yeah.
Was it getting to a stage when it was pissing down with rain, thinking, it's another Watford, or?
Well, you know, like you said, not very little really happened in the first half, and I thought it was definitely a bedding in situation for all these players. You could clearly see they weren't too comfortable, they weren't too sure where they should actually be, whether There weren't really a lot going on between the back and the front. Olivier Giroud was extremely isolated. And just quickly before we do go off the Sanchez subject, I mean, on the left-hand side and where he's in that position, I just feels like he feels like he has to make something happen with every pass, and he has one too many touches, and he releases possession too late, and he tries so hard to do something so good when realistically Arsenal at their very best and when we are the best to watch is when we just get the ball, move the ball quick. And Alexis, we all know, we all love him. We can all see he's a top quality player, but he hasn't been good for a while now. Like many of the players, he's struggling, but especially on the left, I just think he's got a mindset where everything is get the ball on the left, cut inside, play a ball. Get the ball on the left, cut inside, play a ball. Like it's never. He very rarely uses Nacho Monreal. There's not really much of a link there, and I don't want to sit here and slate Alexis Sanchez because we know he's a very, very good player. So he's world class. It's pointless even debating that. But there were so many occasions. For me, what wound me up about the situation the other night is he was having a poor game. He lost possession so many times, and he has of late. But his attitude to doing that. I mean, their goal come from a shocking sloppy pass from him, and they counter-attacked, went straight down the wing and across to Negredo. And there was I don't know if you saw it. There was a moment where Alexis had the ball and it was in the second half, and he got his arms out. He's going, "Oh, come on, where is everyone? What's everyone doing?" And there's 3 or 4 passes on, and he give it away, and he just stood there. And I don't know. Look, we all love him. I don't want to single him out for criticism. I don't think any player should be singled out for criticism when the whole team's not playing well. But I can understand why people have their frustrations with him. And what a free kick! It was just poetry of emotion from up the other end. I mean, you just stood there. I was stood right in line with it, and as soon as I actually thought it was better suited for Mesut. I thought Mesut was going to take it, and I was adamant, and he just just caressed it over the wall. Like Amanda said, he had a lot of space to get the ball into, but he still got it up and down with whip and power, and in the end he made the keeper look like an absolute mug because he didn't move, did he? But
Yeah.
it was just beautiful to get that goal when we were playing poor, and I thought we were poor. I thought we were really were poor. We were struggling to get any sort of game together. I thought the standout performers probably in the first half. I thought we were looking at the back, the lads at the back. I think Robbie Holding had a great start and that, but there weren't really a lot to talk about. And like you said, as the last few times we've been on, it seems to be a bore fest. There's not really a lot we can say, but second half definitely cheered up. But yeah, I must admit, I mean, that first half of that match, I mean, we stood there thinking, bloody hell, we're bad. This team we're playing are terrible. Like, we've seen what happened at Palace and West Brom, and we've been so poor of late. And I was just thinking, we just need one moment, and that is the one thing that Alexis Sanchez will give you, is world-class moments.
And you know, he done it again second half as well. But you talked about that goal second half, Warren. Negredo chucks that in. I mean, Monreal has to chase about bloody 60 yards. He's never going to catch down in. And I thought Holding maybe could have, you know, got out a bit more and isolated the cross. But then when that ball comes in, to take out 2 centre halves, I mean, I don't know. For me, this season, I thought that Nacho Monreal has looked like he's aging, not in a good way either. He's looked really off the boil completely compared to the usual performances we see from him. And last night, I thought Koscielny looked the same. I thought Rob Holding was incredible last night. But Gabriel, I think he's just completely... I don't think he has a clue what to do anymore. He just looks lost. He looks complete to me. He just looks lost. And but no, I thought Rob Holding was brilliant. But yeah, Koscielny, to get done like that, just the two of them as well. And I was quite happy, the reaction from Petr Cech, just he sort of stood there like, what are you two doing? Like, you know, what are you doing? And yeah, I mean, you were there, Warren. Was the consensus that that's it now? Was it never in doubt?
Yeah, the consensus was, Arsenal are back. He said, well, like you said, look, the funny thing that made me laugh is you mentioned it earlier. You said that we played 3 centre-backs to combat the aerial threat of Middlesbrough, and the first thing that happens is one cross into the box and the aerial threat. To be fair, we did deal with a lot of balls, especially in the later stage of the second half after we took the lead again. We did deal well, and I actually didn't think Gabriel was that bad. He'd done a lot of mopping up, but it's not conventional to these players. They've never played in a back three before. I mean, poor old Monreal, he's just lost, and Alexis in front of him, like I said, they just can't seem to click as a partnership. And where we've seen Bellerin and Walcott have a good thing going on this season, and I think the left side, he's just really struggled, Monreal, and he can't seem to click with him. But yeah, it was just a really weird game to watch. But the fact that we played 3 centre-backs combat and then let something like that happen, but it's happened on more than one occasion. It's normally between Mustafi and Kos and a centre-forward snuck in a few times. But like you said, once we did give the ball away in midfield, where Alexis gives it away, they're away so quick. Poor old Monreal. I mean, he's no slouch, but he's just batting into the wind all the time, Nacho Monreal. I do feel quite sorry for him.
Like I said, it was a 60-yard dash, and you knew you'd never get there in a million.
Don't get me wrong, mate. 110%. I'd go out in the summer and sign a new left back. I'm not saying that Nacho Monreal's brilliant, but all I'm saying is I do feel he's been hung out on a washing line this season a bit, and I like Nacho Monreal. I think he's a very good technical player, but I do certainly think if we're going to play a wing back, Kieran Gibbs for me would have been the one, because I think Monreal's better as a solid footballer. He's a bit better with intricate football, and Gibbs is more of an athlete. But I'm not Arsene Wenger, and I haven't got 20 odd years of managing Arsenal Football Club, so who am I to suggest anything?
No. I mean, I thought he'd be better going forward as well. You know, if you got the wing backs, you want a bit of end product and stuff. I thought maybe, like you said, Gibbs would surely have been the one. Amanda, what did you feel really about that goal? Was it just the usual?
At half time, I predicted it to my mate I was talking to on the phone, not an Arsenal fan. I just said, look, this is so Arsenal, 1-0 up. I wouldn't say cruising. We weren't phenomenal, were we? It wasn't that great. We were just doing a little job. And then they come out and they score. It's just so Arsenal. What else can we say? We don't say every week at the moment. The midfield and the defending and, I don't know. But I did feel that, and I don't want to, I agree on Gabriel. I thought Rob Holding had a great game, though. I was quite impressed with him. And as Warren said, it's true, isn't it? When have they ever played a competitive match in a 3 like that? And I'm not being funny. I know it's Middlesbrough. I get that. But they were up for it last night. They're fighting for their lives. So they were under pressure, our 3. And, yeah, just a typical Arsenal lack of defending goal to give away.
Yeah, I mean, they brought on Adama Traore, who I remember he tore Arsenal's youth team apart years ago for Barcelona, and I was like, cool, if this guy stays at Barcelona, he could be, if he gets in there with Messi and all of these, they're going to be rampant for ages. And then he ends up at Aston Villa. He's in a different claret and blue, and he ends up at Middlesbrough. But bloody hell, I don't know if you guys had the old Stats Twitter accounts on, but he took more take-ons in 6 touches than our whole team front 3 did in the whole game within like 10 or 15 minutes. I was like, bloody hell, this guy's going to... I was like, he's going to get past all these, he's going to whip the crosses in. But no, in the end, Sanchez, who, you know, we've had a bit of a debate about, I'm sure he'll come back again later on, he produces a moment of brilliance. And Aaron Ramsey, who's been criticised quite a lot, he lays on a brilliant assist. The vision for that and everything else, and the running as well, I thought was class. And then Ozil with the weak foot. And it's the 2 men who you think, you know, are they going, are they staying? But they saved our arse last night. Amanda, what did you make of that goal?
I'm so pleased it was an assist from Ramsey and a goal from Ozil. Just thrilled, really. I think we deserved it. I think the build-up play was nice. I think that, you know, you can tell how much they did want it, Arsenal. You know, when Theo came out occasionally and goes, the other team want it more, you could see that, you know, they were up for it. You know, sometimes Arsenal losing a goal does help us. I know it sounds odd, but it sort of spurs us a little bit more. And listen, I love my Ozil, but I'm not being funny. He's played just as bad as everybody else lately. But then there has been positions he's been in that he shouldn't be in. And you know what? I honestly think, and I know I really don't want to go through Wenger anymore and talk about him, but I just don't feel he knows how to utilise half these players in their positions. The only thing I thought was good last night was the Ox, wasn't he?
Definitely, we'll have a chat about him in a minute once we're finished talking about his goal.
Well, Amanda, I'll just throw it to you quick before I go over to you. Well, sorry, mate. I know you're itching here. Did you think Ozil had a bad game yesterday?
No, not a bad game. I thought, no, not at all. But you see, you can't talk to me about Ozil. I do have rose-tinted glasses with him.
Oh, no. I like to talk about it because for me, I the usual tweets are out about, this lazy bastard, and then, Casper Deingeist or whatever they call him, in Germany. It's like, where is he and all this? And then he pops up and scores, and I'm like, quality. But no, if you look at, and people go, oh yeah, but stats are this and that. But, he got 4 tackles in there yesterday, and I thought the boy put a shift in. And I'm like, if he does this against a City on Sunday or against United or a Bayern Munich or something like that, he won't get, it's all well and good doing it, see, look at that goal he scores against Ludogorets and all that. So it's all well and good doing it against these little lot, but when it matters, that's when he needs to play. But I thought he was brilliant last night.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know who you follow on your timeline, but I've become very block happy. I've had enough, to be honest. I spent about 6 hours the other day when I was doing nothing, blocking AKBs because I've had enough. I really have. And when people start... Look, I respect everyone's view. If there's many people I know that want Wenger out, I really don't personally know anyone that wants him to stay. Okay? But then there's people on my timeline that want him to stay. So... And then I get the people that are Ozil, they think he's atrocious and lazy. Then I get people going, you don't understand football, which I used to say a few years ago. I think the man is world class. I think he went through a bad period. Our whole team did. But to see, I get a bit annoyed when those two are singled out all the time. We have other players that are playing badly and playing well, so... Do I think he had a bad game last night? No, of course he had one of his better games recently. But I just feel that I don't know what people don't see in him. I find it a bit confusing, and I don't even play the game. So I don't know. What do you think, Woz? Do you like Ozil or not?
I'd married a man.
Oh no, I'm having children with him. Yeah, so we all like him on this pod, yeah. So I don't really get people when people say these to me. I go, well, I don't know what you're watching because I'm actually watching sublimeness on the pitch. But I do get a lot of people say to me, he's lazy. Look at his body language and blah blah blah. And I think, but that's just not him. He isn't Alexis, but then he wouldn't give the ball away as much as Alexis. So yin and yang.
Oh, he's just got that languid style like Berbatov used to have. Do you know what I mean? Like Berbatov was a lazy bastard.
He got called lazy, didn't he?
Yeah, but
he delivered. He was lazy, He was bloody lazy. He just didn't deliver. He was a centre forward that did score goals. But just butting in on Mesut, I mean, obviously I was there, and the formation for me didn't suit Mesut at all. Not one bit. Normally, I think Arsenal at their best, Mesut Ozil's constantly involved. He makes 80 odd passes a game. He's involved in everything. He's getting hold of the ball. He barely had I think there was about 5 other players that made more passes than him, which is so rare, so rare for Mesut Ozil. And he was asked to sort of almost replicate the position he was playing when Sanchez was centre forward, except he had a 6'4" lumberjack up front to sort of try and be in and around. And I just don't think that's where Mesut's best suited. And he makes some intelligent runs, but what Mesut Ozil does do, and the one thing I would say about him is when you're stood there in the ground, and we've all been there, and we've all seen him, we've all appreciated it. But what you can see is his brain and his legs never, ever stop working. They never stop working. He's constantly on the move. He's constantly finding space. He's constantly making runs. He's constantly looking, where can I pick up the ball in the most dangerous position?
Yeah, he is.
And Ozil, he is. And with all due respect, 99 times out of 100, when you're watching on Sky Sports or when you're watching on Match of the Day, you only see what the camera wants you to see.
Yeah.
You don't see what he's doing off the ball. That man... And you can see it by the distance covered stats and all that all the time. Yet again, last night, he outrun most players on the pitch. And he works so hard for the team. And he cares so much. Just because he's not sort of relaying his passion by an emotive way, by throwing his arms in the air, doesn't mean he don't care. Like, this guy really does care. And you can see how happy he was when he scored. But the man for me is an absolute magician, and like Amanda, I think you really said it right, Amanda, when you said Arsene Wenger just does not know how to get the best out of all these
Yeah.
players, and
Yeah.
we can go through them all. People like Xhaka. Xhaka's a top quality footballer, but he's asking him to do things that don't suit him. Every player to a man you could pick out and you could explain why they've struggled this season, and that is the frustrating thing of it. But Mesut, for me, I mean, I think he's a footballing god. I love the bloke. If I could be any footballer in the world, I'd be him. And every time I go to watch him, I just feel lucky to be able to watch and learn the game from someone like that, because the Premier League is a bloody tough league to be in, and teams like Middlesbrough, it ain't easy. They're going to kick you at every single... And right at the start, he got done, didn't he? The bloke went flying through him straight away to let you know he's there. And Mesut's got on with that. He's come to the Premier League, he's bulked up, he's got quicker, he's got stronger, he's got more intelligent. And I'll tell you something now, if he went back to La Liga, he'd be twice the player he was when he was there before, because he's changed as a footballer and he's adapted his game because he's that good. But I can understand why people get the hump with him, because they want to see passion and they want to see grit and determination. But Mesut Ozil has got a different way of portraying that, and that is just him. And you have to learn to live with that, because he's not going to change. He's not going to be running the kind of guy that is going to go steaming into tackles and things. That's just not his game.
No.
So what we need to do is ensure that we're getting the best out of him in the best possible position, get him on the ball, let him do his thing, let him be the world-class footballer he is, and we'll go from there. But that ain't happened for a long, long time. And I personally don't think that Wenger's used him correctly since the day he joined the club. And I still don't think he really, really knows how to get the best out of him. Not that I'm saying I know anything, but I'm just saying, to me, it seems like there's a much, much better player in there that we're seeing. And I'm still seeing a very, very good world-class footballer. But yeah, it's frustrating. But before you do move off that goal, JJ, I do want to have a little chat about it.
Yeah, go for it, sir.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was such an important goal and such an important response, like Amanda said, because we sort of got shook up when we conceded, and we did concede a few more chances after that. Czech made a good save, didn't he, at 1-1? Yeah. And we were dodgy. We were really dodgy, and it took one moment of risk taking, and that's something that. This is why I have the issue with playing Coquelin alongside Xhaka, or El Neni alongside Xhaka, or deep midfielders, because we don't have that danger. And when you watch that goal back, and I watched it earlier quite a few times, and the ball's played in, Xhaka, I think, plays it into Alexis, and Ramsey sees Alexis. And as soon as he sees him in that inside left, he knows what he's going to want to do. And Ramsey just makes this little subtle spin in behind his defender. The ball... Brilliant ball, unbelievable pass from Alexis to drop it in that gap. But Ramsey's got a picture of everything that's happening before it's even happened. He's got in behind. He knows that he's going to get picked out. That chest, he's played that. That's not instinctive. He knew what he was going to do there. And Ozil, he's chested it down, Ramsey, and he's absolutely smashed it in with his weak foot measure. And it's a brilliant goal to see. And Monreal was coming over, he was going absolutely mental. I was just happy. We was going, I'll tell you what, we was getting a hell of a lot of stick. I was right by the segregation, and when they scored the equaliser, we was getting so much stick. They were all mouthy and all that. And when we scored, I've smashed up all my shins. I don't know how I've done it, but we had a good old celebration and give it back to them. So it was just pleasing. But yeah, it was nice to see a goal where we took a risk. And Aaron Ramsey is always criticised for taking risks. And I just think sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you need that risk, because I can guarantee you now, if Mohamed El Neni was on that pitch or Francis Coquelin was on that pitch, we would not have scored that goal, because that run wouldn't have been made. That intelligence and that link between Sanchez, Ozil and Ramsey wouldn't have happened. And it was just a very Arsenal goal. There was so much quality about it. The pass to Alexis, the lovely ball, the touchdown and the finish, that was... No matter what anyone done, you couldn't stop it, could you? So it was nice to score a goal like that, because it's been a while since we've really scored a beautiful goal. But yeah, I was pleased with Ramsey's performance, and especially in the second half. Look, but even when he's poor, Ramsey, the one thing I'd say about him is he doesn't hide. He's never hid. He never hides. He's always there. He's always trying. He always wants it. And he's been poor. He's been in a poor run of form. But let's hope now he's getting back to fitness, and I'm sure we'll talk about interviews after the game later, but I watched a brilliant one with Ramble earlier, and what he said, it was nice to see what they're all saying and that. But yeah, hopefully they can get fit again, and we take a few more of these risks and start playing some sexy football again, as I like to call it, with get them all involved, mate. But yeah, and I'm sure you're going to jump on now and let Amanda wax lyrical about our mate, the Ox.
Well, he was playing in a wing back position, Amanda. Now, I thought to me that he was man of the match. However, in this formation, to me, he looked like using a Ferrari to go to the co-op to get your paper and your mini milk and all that on a Sunday. He just looked completely. It didn't suit me at all. I like Oxlade-Chamberlain in the centre, next to a nice, tidy, either playmaking type player or someone who's going to go deep, take the ball from the centre backs, and then allow you to go forward and play. Someone in the mould of a Xabi Alonso or someone like that, ideally. But I thought he was good. But and I've said it before about Oxlade-Chamberlain, the end product's just not there, and when's it going to come? How long am I going to have to wait for it? So, Amanda, off you go.
I sort of don't understand what you just said. You just said he was man of the match, but you didn't like him where he was.
No, because he grafted.
Yeah.
He grafted. He done all the bits he needed to do, but that position for me, no, I didn't rate him in the position, but I thought he had a fantastic game.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I just don't think the system suited him at all. But he dug in and pulled something out, even though it didn't suit him. Yeah,
well, that shows a good player, no?
Well, it does, but it's for all the good he does, it's like Sanchez. All right, he scored the goal and got an assist, but other than that, he was awful.
Right, okay.
But Oxlade-Chamberlain, if you get at the end there, rifling them into row Z and smacking the part, you've got to be scoring stuff like that.
Okay.
If you want to stay at this club and you want to get in this team, because Theo Walcott's getting effing pelters for what he did in an interview and how he played against Palace. All right, he was awful, but he's got 18 goals this season.
Okay, so where do you want him to play?
I'd like him in the centre, ideally.
And that's why Wenger did play him for a bit, didn't he? And then he changed him.
Well, he was predominantly out wide, yesterday. Oh, you mean before? Yeah, no,
he has played him there, and I think he's doing well there, but he needs a run. If he is that bad at finishing and all that, why are the top clubs after him? And they are after him, trust me, right? I think
he's a grafter.
Liverpool. Right, I think there's potential there, definitely. And I know what you're going to say about Theo. I think, I'm not going to compare them. But what I want to say is, yes, last night, I sort of agree with you. I get what you're saying now. He did graft last night. He wanted it last night. And I was at, I don't know if Warren was there, but I was at Liverpool away and United away and City away. And Liverpool away, I was row 3 or something stupid like that. He was the only one trying constantly, and what Warren said was true. What you see on the cameras is very different to what you see live. Okay, he did not stop going at that team. He wants to win. All right, he's still got that passion. Yes, okay, the finishing needs to be looked at. I agree on that part. He was man of the match last night. He did not stop last night, and I felt in the position he was in, he did what he had to do. I love him in centre midfield. That's where I want to see him. Was he man of the match? Yeah. But Warren, why do you think he wasn't?
Look, I thought he had a good game, right? But the thing with Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I've always said this, and I don't think nothing's changed since 2012, is it's like I'll go out, right, to bake a cake, and I look at all the ingredients. I've got the best ingredients in the world to make myself a cake. I come home, put them all together, follow all the instructions, unbelievable cake, goes in the oven, rises to the top, comes out, brilliant, decorate with the ice, and you go put the cherry on top and the whole cake falls apart. It's like that final bit, which really, really matters at the top level, is not there. It's just not there. And I'm not saying he's never going to be there, but what I'm saying is now is he's 23 years old. It's time to start progressing, time to start having that end product. The amount of times that he used his power, used his pace, and his brain is lacking. Nine crosses, Ramsey, you've got to be better. His end product is just not there. And we all love the Ox. We all want him to succeed. We'd all be gutted if he goes to another club because we do know the potential that's there. Yeah. He's such a powerful athlete. He's a machine. He's a god. But for me, his brain is the issue, and his positioning. He's like, for instance, when Matey went, even defensively, when he went running on a counter-attack, didn't he? It come out from a long shot, blocked away an Ox, just went back like Roadrunner, won the tackle, perfect, brilliant. And then it's like JJ said at the end, twice he got in great positions. One of them we had 4 across the box, and he chose the wrong decision. And the other one, he smashed into the side netting. And you know Ox can get there. You know he can do everything from A to B. But as soon as you got to get to the final ball, and that's what it is with Ox, the final ball, that's what separates the very best players from a very, very good player, in my opinion. And I did think Ox had a good game. I thought he worked his bollocks off. I thought he worked very hard. But I felt he could have done a lot more against a very, very poor defensive unit. Even though they concede very few goals, I know. But man on man, Ox could have any fullback in Europe on toast. Do you know what I mean? But he can beat someone for fun. But he's just, like I said with the cake, he's got all the ingredients. But as soon as you put that final bit on top, the cake falls apart. And if he can get it all to stick together, if he can, then he'll be as good as anyone in the Premier League. There's no two ways about it. And I think everyone's so frightened of that happening elsewhere that we're overpraising a player for being very, very average when it matters. Now, everything between the boxes, he done brilliant. He really, really did do brilliant. And I look at Alex Iwobi, who's a long way behind Ox in progression, but he's very similar. And when the push comes to the shove at this level, you've got to be able to take your chances to make the impact. And his numbers have improved this season. 100% I'll give him that. But his numbers for me are still, I think he's still 10, 15 short of where he should be at this stage of his career. And for a player of his ability, I don't know whether it's Arsene Wenger. I don't know whether he's just...
Sorry, Woz.
Is that what you think it is, Amanda?
I was just about to say, I was just going to say to you, what do you think it is? And I've got a feeling that he's not helped him over the last few seasons.
Yeah, you could certainly allude to that, and I wouldn't disagree with that. And like many other players, he's probably being played in... Like we all seem to have a consensus that Ox is probably best in the middle of the park, and he drives with the ball. He's strong as an Ox, if you want to say that. He is, but he's never been given. Look, he has had runs in the team, but when he has had runs, he's sort of been out wide, and he's just not quite delivered, and he's just not quite trustworthy. He switches off at times. We've had moments in the Champions League where fullback he gets switched in and behind. Just little things with the Ox. It's just he has brain lapses at both ends, like little brain farts, and he gets there and then he's like, and that's it.
I do get what you're saying, and I do think
but I do love him, Amanda. I do. I don't want. I'm not slating him. I did think he had a very good game physically, and I think he was brilliant. But it's just when it really, really matters for me. That's where I want to see Ox go on levels, because he could be as good as anyone.
It's just for me. You look at the other clubs that you got in the. In the top 4, top 6, and they've got people that are playing out wide, and they're getting the numbers. That's all. For me, it's the numbers, and you see him getting he gets in the positions. I won't dispute that. And it's like I said, he had two. What you agree with me, didn't you? He had two clear cut. He smacked one into the bar and one into the stratosphere.
Sorry, mate, I was muted. I was talking to myself. Yeah, no, definitely. But even in the first half, he got in situations, like I said, where he breezed past a great bit of link-up play. Xhaka slides a lovely ball in the channel. Ox is through. He's got 5-10 seconds to get his head up and pick out a pass. Yeah, it was unlucky. It weren't the worst pass in the world, but you've got to be finding your man, and that's the long and short of it. That is the only thing for me, and people might think I'm being hypercritical, and I'll probably get a lot of abuse for it, but that is my reasoning, and I don't hate the Ox. I just think that he's been at the club now for, 7 years? And when he come, I mean, since 2012, he put in that performance against AC Milan where he won 3-0 at home, and he was the best player on the park. He was incredible. And I just don't think that, physically, I don't think he's changed since then. He's as powerful now and as good as he is now, but the problem with me is mentally, I don't think he's changed. And he is improving. He is improving, but now I just want to see him kick on. And if Arsenal's serious contenders for winning titles and challenging in Europe, I have to ask these questions about the player's end product, because otherwise we could quite happily field a team with Iwobi and Ox and that, and we'd be all right, we'd make the top 4. But do we want to go on another level? And Ox is good enough, but he needs to start progressing when it really matters. That's just my opinion on him, and I'm not slating him, of course, but that's the only reason. If I sound like I'm mad, then fair play, but that's what I think.
Yeah. I just want to say to you, obviously you were there. I've seen the photos and everything. Granit Xhaka yesterday, mate. What did you make of his performance? Because obviously, all right, he slid that ball to Sanchez and everything, but for me, I call it Coquelin syndrome. There were times where I'm like, why are you up there? Do you know what I mean? He was like he was playing at a 10.
Not much balance. I don't think there was any balance at all. And
there was no link between the centre backs and the.
Do you know
what I mean?
Do you know what I thought it was? Is because obviously we were playing without wingers, and it's very, very difficult to ask two players like Monreal and Ox, who are never played like that before, it's such a physical task. And when Xhaka's at his best, say for instance against the West Ham game, he sat in deep in front of the back four, he's pinging passes to the left winger, he's pinging passes to the right winger. We played with no left winger and we played with no right winger. So all of a sudden we're trying Xhaka, who's 6'2", he's got the turning circle of a London bus at times. Like, don't get him running around like a fucking headless chicken, and it's just silly. Just sit him in and let the game happen in front of him, and that's when you get the best out of him. I don't know what you think, Amanda, but I just think like you said, many of them are being misused.
Yeah, but interestingly, we've had a question on Xhaka, so let's go to him now. So Bernie at BRAS68 on Twitter said, Xhaka, will he come good? James, what do you reckon?
I think he already is. It's just some of the, it's just sometimes. All right, he's got a very rash mind. I don't think anybody can dispute that. But it's like we've all said. We might as well just call this podcast a system. It is just whatever system is implemented in front of him. I've always said a workman's only as good as his tools, and if you don't give him, how many years have we been saying when you chuck Ozil without a runner in front of him or a striker that he can have someone run onto the balls, he's useless, isn't he? But it's the same with Xhaka. If you play him how we played last night, he was so ineffective, and he got slagged off because they were like, well, yeah, but he's still got a high passing rate, but it's only because he was passing it back and sideways all the time. But I'm like, well, it is true, but at the same time he's only doing the best of what he can. But no, he's a fantastic player. I mean, we all saw it during the Euros how good he can be.
Warren?
Slow him down, I say. Yeah, I say slow him down. Like you said, he is frenetic and he is frantic, and his mind does go 100 miles an hour quicker than his body, but just slow him down. You don't need to see him in them areas. You don't need to get him doing that sort of thing. Just sit him in, let him relax, let him sit in front of the back four, have a vision of the whole game. He could pass the ball 40, 50 yards just like that. He's a lovely footballer. Pass the ball through the lines. Let Ramsey or someone be the one running around like a headless chicken. It just confuses me when we have players like this and we make them go mad. I just think with Granit, I think you just calm him down. You won't see these rash tackles. You won't see him being caught out of position if he's just sat there doing his job. And he just needs coaching, and he needs a nice, as you say, a nice system to allow him to express himself. He can read and cut out passing lines. He is good at that sort of thing. He is good at tackling when he's not running onto things or being forced to commit. When he can actually use his brain where it's a slowed down situation, I think he's much, much better. And I love Granit Xhaka, and I do honestly think that there's been a lot of defensive midfielders in the mould of players like Xabi Alonso and Pirlo dropped in then. We've seen players like that over here, and I think Granit Xhaka could be the sort of modern age of one of them players, but use him properly, for goodness sake.
Well, Warren, I was just about to say to you is when he was getting sent off, and there was a lot of stories about him saying, he's not very big on London and he's unsettled and this, that and the other. Carlo Ancelotti at Bayern Munich, we all know Alonso's retiring end of the season. He's straight in there going, I'll link him in with Bayern. And if he wasn't good, why would Bayern Munich want him to replace who we can all sit here and say Alonso next to Pirlo and Xavi is arguably in the top three of my generation of these deep line playmakers. And if Ancelotti goes, he's the kind of guy I want to replace him, then he can't be rubbish, can he?
What I'd like to say is what a team we would have if we had a manager that actually managed properly and used the tactics properly. Because each player we're talking about
he did do tactics. He done 3-4-3. What more do you want?
Shut up. You know what I'm saying. I think that we don't have a bad team. We have a bad manager. And I know I'm going to get slated on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. I don't care. This is what people have to understand about me. I really don't care. Come at me respectfully and I'll have a chat with you. But that is how I feel. And interestingly, I'm just going to put this out here. someone said to me quite a few years ago, when you're going to get off the fence? Because I was very much like, oh, I love Wenger and like that. I came off the fence and I was listening to a podcast the other day, and Alan Davies on Yellow Boots, brilliant, it's so funny. He said the same as me. Man United 2014 at home, I walked out of that match and I went, I want Wenger gone. That was it for me. So it's 2.5 seasons ago, I don't know, 2 years ago, whenever. For me, we don't have bad players, and I think that there would be, these people that are fearing change and will be like Man United and will go that way. I don't think so. I think bring it on. I think the players need a fresh new outlook. I'm not going into the Wenger thing, sorry, but there was a question. I always seem to rant on about
Well,
something.
I just want to say I'm sitting next to you Sunday, so all these Wengerings that want to smash you in, as long as they just leave you, as long as they go straight to you and leave me alone. You know what I mean? I'm already struggling to get up there, let alone all these fake tunes, let alone going up there and getting smacked in the face as well. I don't need it.
Well, you haven't. Let me tell you, they will be going for my dad first, who has moaned about Wenger for about 7 years.
You can't
Oh my God. Oh my God, Dad. You wait, James. You wait until you meet him.
I'm waiting with open arms. And he is.
So we've had another question from football_nutter DK. Quite funny. Who killed Lucas Perez and where did they bury him? What do we think's actually happened to him, Warren?
I reckon he's dead.
God forbid.
No, seriously.
Has he got the same thing that Koscielny's got with the old house?
He's been abducted by the football mafia, and unfortunately he cannot appear in a game in London ever again.
It's not allowed.
And, and he's apparently he might feature in one of the games later on this season, but he has to wear a mask and pretend he's actually Theo Walcott. So yeah, he's not back. He's gone. Yeah. I just don't think Wenger fancies him.
He scored from outside the box as well, so he's probably been naughty stepped.
Well, definitely been told off for that, but I just don't think Arsene Wenger really does fancy him, even though I like him, and £17 million he was worth the risk, but it just seems like it weren't a risk that Arsene Wenger actually himself made, and he don't fancy him for some reason. But yeah, poor Lucas Perez. Maybe we should put out an appeal for him or something, because it's not good, is it? It's not good.
Oh dear. Right, we've got one more left. Let me go to it. Sorry, I'm not as good as you lot with your hosting. Okay, so at Yonko ABBZ, considering our next 5 Premier League games and that fact that it seems as though Wenger needs to earn a contract by the end of the season, is he doomed? Oh, should we not discuss Wenger in and Wenger out? It's up to you two.
I don't like to.
No.
I think the best way, the only thing I'd sum Arsene Wenger up, right, the way I see it, he's got this brilliant jigsaw puzzle. He's got all the pieces to the puzzle, but he's lost the front of the box, and he's just forgot what the picture looks like, and he can't build that puzzle anymore because he don't know what he's building. But he's got all the right bits, but he can't, and that's the way I feel. I feel like he's lost the front of the box, and mentally he's not quite there at the level anymore, and it's horrible the way it's ending, but yeah, for me, I just think he's and this jigsaw puzzle will go out of date soon, and people will be building new jigsaw puzzles. So I hope that we get the front of the box back. I'm fed up with it. I'm really fed up with it, and I'm dreading the rest of the season, mate. I'm dreading it.
These, all right, the next 5 are terrifying, but these next 2 especially.
Yes.
These are, for want of a better, I'm going to affect the AdSense by swearing sorry. Sorry, whoever owns the account and gets the AdSense money. These are fucking big. These next 2, so fucking big.
Well, 3 of them. We've got a midweek game, haven't we?
Well, yeah, but I think there's one in between, yeah. But is it Leicester in midweek?
Yes.
I think we've got some sort of game midweek.
Yeah, so
I've stopped caring anymore.
Yeah,
he's got the cup semi, he's got the Champions, and then he's got Spurs. And we had a nice chat about Spurs last night on the phone, Amanda, and I said to you, don't worry, I'm not getting too worried just yet. They
God,
get big
shut up.
potatoes and they get cake on their face. So I'm
not this season.
Wait and see. Well, we'll wait and see. But no, these next, all right, 3 instead of the 2, they're so massive. But especially this cup semi and Spurs, I'm like, it's bad enough as it is, and I've always liked to have talked about the percentages of how I think, it's 50-50, and then it's 60% want him in, 40% want him to go. I think the tide is changing a lot, and I mean, bloody, I don't know if it's just because it's a fad and it's fun now, but these bloody Wenger out signs are popping up everywhere.
I know. I actually think they're quite funny, but I like the wedding one. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
It's just mad. I'll tell you, I was at a German beer festival, Ali Pali, on Good Friday, and I was in there, I was in the toilet, I was going to the toilet, all of a sudden, someone goes, Wenger out! I was like, what's going on here? And then next thing you know, about 20 people, everyone's just shouting Wenger out, and then there's people shouting Wenger in, and I was just like, bloody hell, this is taking over the country. And we're living in this circus at the moment, and it's a joke how we're being treated like this as a fan base, but we are a bit of a laughing stock, and whether them signs are all truthful or not, some of them clearly are, some of them clearly aren't, but it's becoming a bit of a farce.
Yeah. But no, he's literally, he's shit or get off the pot time, for want of a better phrase.
Okay. Right, boys.
Don't be depressed. We won.
We won, and we're not talking about Spurs because I can't even face that, because at 4 o'clock that afternoon I've got to travel to a do with Tottenham fans. We'll all be in the car, either watching or listening on the radio, and the do starts at 5:15, and the whole night the main guy in the do is Tottenham season ticket holder, and half the room will be Tottenham season ticket holders. And there's me, and probably 2 Arsenal fans. So
well, a sickie.
I've got to go, and I want to go actually. It's a friend's party. But the bizarre thing about this is I've already resigned myself to losing. There's just no chance in my mind that we will win. We are so appalling at the moment and they're on fire. They are, James. It's not like every other season. I'm sorry. We are not on our run. If we're on our run, yeah, of course, but we're not. And they are not bottling it. When they were 1-0 down to Swansea with 1 minute to go or 2 minutes, and they end up winning 2 or 3-1, that is a sign of a championship winning side. We used to do that many years ago. So, unfortunately, you've got to all think of me, because I don't even know what I'm going to do.
Well, you're jumping the gun. Let's go to Sunday first. How do you think Sunday's going to go? You're sat with me. That's already a blessing.
That's already a blessing, because when we go 2-0 down, we just can laugh, James. We can just laugh. And a lot of my men.
I'm going to be sat there with me. I'm going to curl in a ball from all the people that want to beat you up.
Well, I don't think people want to beat me up. I just think that if you want the managers to start, I'd like the manager to leave with dignity. Look, I'd love us to win the next 5 games, win the FA Cup, and him to go, see ya. That would be fantastic. That's in Amanda's world. Sunday. Oh, we ain't got a chance. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't work on... I work on realistic, my Man City mates are coming down, and I'm like, if you don't beat us, you should be disgraced. What's he going to play? What's he going to do? 4-5-1? What's he going to play? He ain't going to play what he played the other night, and then we go back to Arsenal playing. So I'll just leave it to you two. I'm negative. I don't think we're going to win, no.
Well, for me was looking at the game that we had in the league the other week. I thought we were very fortunate, but then at the same time, I thought they were there for the taking. We just didn't crank it up that extra notch, and I think it's a bigger pitch. I think get the pacey players on, and we all talk about the tactical genius of Mr. Clive on the pod, and I agree with him. Make them run backwards; they're no good at all. So you let them play on the front foot. Straight from the kick-off. You got to go for the jugular, and you got to make them boys run. Especially if they're playing Sangha and Clichy at the back, you got to get Danny Wells and Walcott, Bellerin back, and you just got to just pace all the way through.
I'll go with that, mate. I'd be front-footed. I'd go Welbeck on the left, Sanchez up front, Walcott on the right. I'll just get Bellerin back in there on the right, Gibbs or Monreal, whoever you choose. We go front-footed. We exert ourselves. We're Arsenal. Start fucking being that team again.
I don't want 2 defensive dids as well. I don't want. I'd just keep Ramsey in as well.
No, exactly. I'd go Xhaka, Ramsey, Ozil, Welbeck, Sanchez, Walcott. I'd go at them and say, come on in, let's have a game of football. You see how good you really are. Let's get on at them. Get at them. They're poo. They're pony. They really are poor at the back. They're struggling. We know that won't happen, but at the end of the day, the only thing...
Look, the goalkeeper as well. He's more suspect than all of them.
Yeah, I know. What gives me hope is it's the magic of the FA Cup, and the underdogs can really shine in these games. So I'm going into it with a mindset that we're a non-league club facing the mighty Man City, and whatever happens.
It does feel like that, though, doesn't it?
That's honestly, it felt like that at Middlesbrough, for goodness sake. After the game, when we had a few more beers after, and the taxi driver, he was driving us back to where we were staying, and he said, we done brilliant. I was like, did you? He goes, yeah, we don't even normally have a shot on goal. He said, I couldn't believe how good we were. And it just sort of made me think, well, if Middlesbrough fans are saying that, and I just thought, what other teams must think of us at the moment? But anything could happen. And as I say, the magic of the cup, and hopefully we turn up and just, what's he got to lose? It's a one-off game. Just go for it. Just go guns blazing. Just go at them. I'll just frighten them for once. I'd love to see that, but I don't know what's going to happen. To be fair, I'm just going to have as much beer and Jaeger as I can, go in the ground, hope it goes well, and then go home again.
That's so you. Right, listen, I'm going to put something to you boys, because I'm going to get slaughtered for this, okay? But as I said before, it's me. Now remember, I'm late 40s, all right? So I was there in the 80s, in the shit times. I don't even know if you two were born, but anyway. And Tottenham were doing okay. Not as well as we've done over the time, but, you know, they were winning a couple of cups and they were better than us. I cannot, with my world and where I live and all my life, lose to Tottenham in a cup final, okay? So, if Tottenham beat Chelsea on Saturday night, I'm not going to want to get through, I'm afraid. So I know, because people my age, we all say the same thing. People your age, maybe in your 20s and 30s, have got no idea why I would say that. I would never have normally said it until the last few months of watching us play football. We'll attempt to. So are you both going to slaughter me for saying that?
No, I truly believe they're going to beat Chelsea. But then I've watched them play at Wembley in the Champions League, and they're awful. And I'm like, I said at the start of the year, I believe Arsenal for some reason are going to win the FA Cup this season, and I'm still sticking by my prediction that we're going to win the FA Cup. And if we have to beat Spurs along the way, then let's have it. I'd love a bit of that.
James, it's going to be the most unpleasant build-up to a cup final you've ever experienced. Surely you will feel sick, no?
I'll feel sick whilst we lose, but I'll be excited. I'll be all over that.
Okay.
What a game.
Warren?
What a game.
Warren?
I feel sick.
Yeah.
I feel sick even thinking about it. I feel sick. Do you know what? I'm not saying I wouldn't want it. I would want it, and I'd love it. I'd love it. I've got so many mates who I love to hate. Do you know what I mean? I love to hate them. They're good. They're great mates of mine, but I love to hate them. I love the banter. And for the first time in bloody 20 odd years, they're going to actually finish above us this season, and they already know that. That's already in the bag. But if we can end their season trophyless by doing it, I'd start Sol Campbell. Fuck it. Getting back, let him score. Look, do you know what I mean? We just do something to rub the salt in the wounds. It would be the most, especially if we go to the lane and get beat, and then we do get them in the final, because we'll be so down in the dumps, and we'll be, but do you know what? Let's football. Let's have it. Let's have them. Yeah. That's the way. That's the only way I think I can approach it, because
best way to be, mate.
Mate, I would be seriously worried about it. Look at the two
back-to-back FA Cups we won. I was pleased. I was happy that we won them. But then you get all the bloody minnows. Oh, you only beat a shitty old City. You only beat a Tim Sherwood Aston Villa. If we can beat Pep Guardiola's Man City, and then this Chelsea or this Spurs side, that's a statement for me that you've spanked two big boys there. Even if you're thrashing 1-0, as I like to say.
Yeah, first year we done Spurs, Liverpool and Everton, didn't we? But then I suppose we had easy routes. We made it as hard as we possibly could against Reading and bloody... you know what I mean? We really made a pig's ear of it. But we, even in the final game, 2-0 down to Hull, then I was on the verge of suicide. But bloody hell, it's... If we play Spurs, you just imagine it. You just imagine the build up to the game, the animosity between the two sides is at an all-time high. We hate them, they hate us. I just love there's no derby like the North London derby, and it'd be massive. It'd be massive, absolutely massive. I wouldn't be able to sleep for weeks.
If they're not G'd up for that, then what? Then
that's what I mean. It's time for these players.
Half of them have got to go. Yeah, if they can't get up for even the League one, let alone if it's a cup final.
Mate, Ox and Ramsey and all these boys have come out in these interviews and they're talking a very, very good game. But let's see, when push comes to shove, when we're staring down the barrel in the cup final against Tottenham Hotspur, last 20 minutes at 1-1, who's going to want it? Who's going to have the bollocks?
Okay.
Because come on, I'm
Warren,
building it up. Come on.
You're giving me nightmares. I can't even begin to tell you. I don't even know if I could be able to go. But honestly, my whole life, my mother's family are all Tottenham.
You'd regret it. You'd regret it because we'd win and then you'd go, I've missed it.
James, if it meant Arsenal winning, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go. I have to tell you that for a fact. But
Amanda out.
Yeah, I won't go if Arsenal win. But I'm just saying
you'll be in the hospital recovering from your injuries from the semi anyway, from all the people that attack yourself.
Just to let you know, James, I'm not that well known, I have to tell you. I'm not really. I know you think I am, but I'm really not. I'm just a normal Arsenal fan. Right, boys. So, what's your I don't predict, as you know, but James' prediction, then Warren, for Sunday.
We are going to beat them 2-1.
Are you okay tonight, James?
Yeah, I believe.
Okay, darling. Warren?
I'm going 1-1. I'm going extra times. I'm going penalties. And I've got a feeling that who's going to score the winning penalty? Someone really strange is going to step up with a winning penalty, I reckon.
Gabriel.
Someone like Gabriel.
We both said it. That's it, then. It's going to happen, isn't it?
I could see it. I could see something strange like that happening. It'd be 9-0 on penalties or something.
I'll be furious if it goes to penalties. I'm already struggling to get up there, let alone get back. If it goes to penalties, I've got nothing. My dad's going to screw at me for having to pick me up. He's going to...
honestly, I do think we could be in for a long game because we just know they're both such two unpredictable teams. Even though we've been predictably shite for a long time, but if we do turn up, then it really could go all the way. And like the league game, it was a bit of a stalemate. But if we had to go for another 30 minutes extra time of that and penalties, then so be it. But well, let's just hope we do turn up and we do enjoy ourselves because it's Wembley.
Just got to be brave. Just got to be brave.
Well,
that's all I ask.
As we've said, James, you're sitting with me and Dad, the biggest wob on the planet. You can't get any more than him. It's end of story. He moans and I don't even know why he goes to football anymore, but he has been going since 1959, 1960. So I think he has a right to complain. Every year, season ticket, year in, year out. And I think Sunday... I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking forward to it, actually. This is the draw I wanted. I prayed for City. I didn't want Chelsea or Tottenham. So I'm looking forward to the day out. I'm looking forward to this much more than the game Sunday week. But let's just all have a good day at Wembley, yeah? We deserve it after the season we've had.
Exactly.
Let's all just get behind the team and we'll all argue afterwards. You know what I mean? Let's not argue during it. Let's not smack each other. Let's not do all this rubbish. Let's just enjoy ourselves. And then planes. Please no planes, no dog signs, none of this. Just
what a season! Season.
Honestly, if you list from beginning to end this season, I mean, what with Leicester winning the league, us coming second, which was hilarious, and then from then on, the dogs, the pictures at the Emirates, you've got planes, you've got banners, you've got people fighting, and I've seen it at different matches. You've got everyone turning on. You know, people, you know what? We are all Arsenal fans, whether we want him to stay or not. We are all Arsenal fans that only want good for our club. So when you're discussing, it's funny actually, because on my dating sites, I get asked all the time, the second question is, do you want Wenger in or out? It's like, it's become...
What kind of bloke do you attract?
Honestly,
I don't go out clubbing, see a few Richard III's and go, oh, you're right, love, yeah, Wenger in, Wenger out. Even I don't even think about it.
He must be Stan Kroenke and Ivan Gazidis popping up.
No, I get it all the time from very different people. I get a lot of Chelsea fans talk to me. I obviously won't date Tottenham fans, but I'm just saying, it's just hilarious. It's the second question now I'm asked is, do you want Wenger in or out? I get bored. You know. Shut up, James. So I'm just saying that I'm bored with it, but we are all Arsenal fans. We all want to win on Sunday. We want to win everything. So I do not get this fighting. I really don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Fight other clubs, I get, which I hate, and I don't condone any of that. But I understand that banter. But I don't get this. What are you doing? What? Because we've got a man at the helm that is dividing the fan base. Well, you know what? We need to put this aside. We need to get behind. We all get behind the team. I'm not saying that, but Sunday's really important for us. If we can beat City on Sunday, it's going to lift us tremendously. And then we go to White Hart. Well, I think we play Leicester, and then we've got White Hart Lane. And if we can dent their title challenge, we don't have anything else to live for at the moment, do we? So that's all I'm saying. Let's unite and get behind the team and get behind the fans as well, even if you disagree with them. We're all red and white on Sunday.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest. You know, at the start of the year, there's 4 trophies to play for. We already wipe out one, and it leaves us with 3. We play the kids in one of them, and then the other 2, we have a good stab at and normally fail. But the FA Cup to me is still important. Chelsea Arsenal at Cardiff was the best game I've ever been to in my life, and the FA Cup means a lot to me. And if we can pull this off and win that, I'll be well happy. I don't like all this old FA Cup shit stuff. I don't know. It's not. It's still, biggest club competition in the world. Cup competition in the world, domestically. So you go out there and you win it.
That's it. And on that note,
that's it.
Yeah. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you, Amanda, for coming on.
Thank you for having me, James.
No worries. Thank you, Warren.
That's top man, Jojo. Thank you very much,
No
mate.
worries.
Appreciate it.
And that's been a Gooner Ramble. We'll be back after Sunday. Hopefully, I'll still be alive. And take it from there. Take care, everybody. Keep listening. Like, comment, subscribe. And stay tuned. Thank you very much.
And always Arsenal.
There we go. I was waiting for that.
Oh, you will be alive. I'll protect you.
Odds Monkey. Beat the bookie and make money whether you win, lose or draw. Swing by oddsmonkey.com today to try the UK's #1 matched betting service for just £1. Enter promo code Gooner when you register and upgrade to premium.